Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the podcast where we congratulate two worthy first-time champions, Naomi and Bray Wyatt. It is Lost to the Midcard. This is our Elimination Chamber post-pay-per-view show. We're going to break down the event. We're going to give you a 5 count for this pay-per-view. The 5 count actually is a Raw-themed one, as we're going to go through a WrestleMania themed one here for Fastlane, but this 5 count is going to be 5 worthy general managers to replace Mick Foley. We'll give you that here in the middle of our Elimination Chamber breakdown, and I'll also talk about the sad passing of a legendary lucha icon as well. But first, let's thank you to SpiderDuck.net for being our host, enabling us to be on iTunes and any of your favorite podcasting apps. What you got to do, if you haven't done so already, search for Lost in the Midcard, hit subscribe. If you've already done so, tell a bunch of people to do the same, so that way you know every time a new episode comes your way, typically every Thursday, and also just like now, every Monday after a WWE pay-per-view. You can also subscribe to us on YouTube. The links to all that are on our Facebook page, facebook.com/LostInTheMidcard, and we're also on the Twitter at LITMC Podcast. I am your host, Jeremy Bennett. You can find me on the Twitter at JBHuskers, and joining me as always, he is on the Twitter at RawFShowtime. It is Mr. Matt Black. Matt, how you doing?
I'm doing well. A surprise. Smackdown put on a solid pay-per-view tonight.
Yeah, no surprise.
Surprise!
A better show puts on a good show. What do you expect? Did you overall enjoy Elimination Chamber tonight, Matt?
Overall, I did. I thought the show started off a little slow. First hour was a little slow. I thought the final 2 hours more than made up for it. And I don't mind a show of building throughout the evening and getting better as it goes along. I mean, that's a tried and true formula of what NXT Takeover does every time they go out there. Mm-hmm. They start slow and they build to a crescendo by the end of the evening. And I kind of feel like SmackDown tried to do that with like a 3-hour show instead of NXT's 2-hour show. Mm-hmm. And I, for the most part, I thought it worked. I mean, I saw some people after the first hour already giving up on the show and bailing out. But I mean, for the people who did, I feel you missed out on an overall excellent show. And the second 2 hours tonight were really, really well done. And if you tuned out early, shame on you. Luckily, you should have the WWE Network. I'd recommend go and watch what you missed.
Yeah.
Because, I just feel like SmackDown delivered. At the end of the day, you might not agree with all the winners and losers tonight or on any given night. But at the end of the day, at least since the brand split has happened, more often than not, the creative on SmackDown just has a way of making sense and explaining itself. Whereas Raw has no rhyme or reason to what it's doing, which causes a lot of the frustration among the fan base because of how just mind-bogglingly stupid some of the decisions that are made on Monday nights.
Yeah, so basically,
it just seems like SmackDown's entire creative team has a better head on their shoulders.
For example, take a look at the storytelling between Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton throughout the past few months. And, even though we saw it coming after the Royal Rumble, Bray Wyatt finally becoming WWE Champion, it didn't take away from the moment. I was thoroughly happy that Bray Wyatt is finally WWE Champion. But at the same time, there's been a story that's been told on SmackDown Live. It's been a good story. And now, where does it go on Tuesday? So now people are going to tune in to see how Randy Orton, what Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt do on Tuesday. Go to Fastlane on March 5th. What story has Kevin Owens and Goldberg told, Matt?
Jack shit.
A story that we're gonna put of the
Like
belt.
they were literally just thrown together for no rhyme or reason whatsoever.
Yeah. So I don't know. Granted, though, I mean, Goldberg did dispatch of Lesnar at Survivor Series and the Rumble, so maybe.
So why are they fighting again at WrestleMania with the title on the line?
Yeah.
It's so stupid.
But there's our point between the two shows.
Yeah, exactly.
We're gonna
props to the creative team on SmackDown, dude. I mean, they get some stuff wrong, but I truly feel like more often than not they get everything right.
Yeah,
when push comes to shove and it's something super important, they normally come through and they get it right.
Yeah, and we're jumping ahead. I mean, Bray Wyatt himself dispatching of John Cena and AJ Styles, that makes that title win much more meaningful. He took out the two top dogs in the company in what was an amazing chamber match. And
probably one of my favorite chamber matches in a long time.
It was a lot of fun. And the new chamber is sexy, man. I like the lights, the look.
I didn't really like it at first when I saw a picture from the crowd earlier tonight.
Mm-hmm.
But the views from inside of it and the way the cameras were set up and the way they used this chamber were phenomenal.
Yeah,
and I really loved. Hey, JB, remember a couple of days ago on Lost in the Midcard when I told you I heard from my people that there was going to be some kind of new padding, around the steel grate outside structure of the chamber, and I couldn't really explain it from what I was being told, but it was there front, face, and center tonight. If you heard listened to Lost in the Midcard earlier this week, you already knew about it. You weren't surprised. We bring you the shit, guys. This is the best insider wrestling podcast going right now. I'd put us up against anybody.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, we don't have anybody that we really need to go out of our way to protect. I feel like I do a pretty decent enough job of protecting my guys, and if I didn't, they wouldn't tell me anything. And we bring it to you guys, the people, because you guys are the diehard wrestling fans, and you guys want to know what's going on, and we bring it to you each and every week. So, accept no substitutes.
Matt,
Lost in the Midcard.
Matt told you Naomi was going to win, and she did. I told you over a month ago that it's going to be the Usos and American Alpha, and it sure as hell looks like that right now.
I told everybody back at the Royal Rumble, Dean Ambrose and Baron Corbin for the Intercontinental Championship.
Yeah, and that went into fruition.
They totally locked that down tonight.
Yep. So.
And if you were paying attention, Miz and Maurice against John Cena and Nikki Bella was pretty much confirmed on both categories tonight.
Yeah.
With Cena getting the pinfall on the Miz in the chamber, and Maurice being involved in that brawl between Nikki and Natty prior to the match.
What's interesting, though, is there is still 7 weeks left for Smackdown until WrestleMania. So, some of this stuff...
well, that's why Daniel Bryan was being very clear about Talking Smack tonight. Why it gets the, WrestleMania as the WWE champion.
Yeah.
I feel like he's going to. I definitely feel like it's good. We're gonna get Bray versus Orton. That's not going to change. But it'll be interesting to see how Bray's path to WrestleMania goes. On this feud with Randy Orton.
Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully, John Cena doesn't get his title back and break Ric Flair's record. Matt just fell over.
I didn't fall over. I just tried to ignore it. I've got the freaking Elimination Chamber replay going on in the background right now, and Dolph just tossed Kalisto into the freaking entrance-tron again. It's still funny the second time around. I'm sorry. If you can't find the humor in that, I don't know what to tell you. That shit was funny.
Oh, man. We got a late start in recording because Talking Smack is awesome, and we wanted to watch that too. So we will skip headlines for now. Not much really that came out. We'll cover everything in its entirety that's worth talking about on our show Wednesday, or on Thursday, when we record on Wednesday, though. But one bit of news to pass along, some sad news yesterday. A legend in the wrestling world, Chavo Guerrero Sr., also known as Chavo Classic, passed away at the age of 68 due to liver cancer. He was the son of Gory Guerrero and, of course, the father of Chavo. And he got his career started, Chavo Sr. did, in 1970. He's worked for Japan. He's worked for the NWA, the AWA. He's held many titles. He's held a total of 15 titles in the NWA. Also a couple of titles in Japan. He has been the junior heavyweight champion for All Japan Pro Wrestling one time, and then also the junior heavyweight champion for New Japan Pro Wrestling 2 times. He came to the WWE in 2004, joining his son Chavo in a feud with Eddie Guerrero. Also, Chavo Classic became the oldest cruiserweight champion in history when he defeated Chavo Jr. and Spike Dudley in a triple threat match. So, and he was last seen in the WWE in 2010 on an old school episode version of Raw, as he drove Alberto Del Rio to the arena. Chavo Classic was seen last in Lucha Underground when Rey Mysterio took on Chavo Guerrero in a Leaves Lucha match, which Rey Mysterio had won. Chavo Classic tried to interfere in the match and did get Chavo to win the match, but then Dario Cueto came out and ordered the match to be restarted, and Mysterio hit a double 619, and Chavo Guerrero got defeated there. So definitely our condolences to the Guerrero family, as another legend has passed away. We are now going to talk about Elimination Chamber, live from Phoenix, Arizona tonight. A great show it was. The show got started off with a bang when JBL tried to two-step his way down the ramp and fell on his ass, Matt. How about that?
Dude,
I'm so glad that
dude, that already happened. And I'm like, you know what? That could be the main highlight of the show tonight. And honestly, anytime JBL chips and falls on his ass, it should be a telltale sign that tonight's probably going to go pretty damn great. And I was so happy that they replayed it, because they were talking about, I'm like, man, if you don't show it, it's worthless. So I was really happy they showed.
I was getting ready to send you a DM. I go, if you find somebody on the nets posting a video of this, I need to see this. But thankfully, WWE obliged, and that Texas two-step was as ugly as JBL's browser search history. Too bad Morrow didn't use that line. That would have been great.
I'm so glad he didn't.
We didn't have a kickoff show when we ran down our predictions. That's because they just came up with one. But a fairly decent one, you know. A couple of guys we don't get to see too often. Mojo Rawley took on Kurt Hawkins in an 8-minute match on the kickoff show. Good win for Mojo to kind of maybe get him a little bit of a push in the singles competition while Zack Ryder is still injured. What did you enjoy a little different sort of match here to kick off the pay-per-view, Matt?
If I would have gone into tonight and somebody would have told me that Mickey and Becky out of the 3 was going to be the weakest match of the 3, I probably wouldn't have believed you at all. That was to me, that was a surprise. The way they opened up the show like that.
But Matt, we're talking Mojo Rawley and Kurt Hawkins.
Do we have to?
Well, it started.
I was hoping I could just no sell and move on to the opening contest. I thought the match was brutal. I truly, if we have to talk about it, I think it was one of Mojo's worst showings to date. Hawkins didn't look good. I just thought it was a really bad match, and it belonged on the. If it had to be on this card, it belonged on the pre-show where it belonged. and this is coming from somebody I've seen a lot of good stuff from Mojo in the last couple months, but this match was not good at all.
Did you put that on Mojo or put that more on Hawkins?
I thought Mojo fucked up a lot of his trademark moves at the end of the match. And I thought a lot of them didn't look good. I mean, Hawkins is, a seasoned pro.
Yeah.
I'd have more the blame on Mojo. And honestly, I didn't want to talk about this because I didn't want to be negative. So when you started talking about it, I'm like, well, if I could somehow transition this into talking about Mickie James and Becky Lynch, I won't have to bury Mojo. But you have left me no choice, and I have buried the hype man. I'm sorry, Mojo. It wasn't one of your better showings tonight.
I just figured you weren't paying attention and you were playing WWE champions.
No, I was paying attention, and I was hoping I didn't want to have to bury Mojo, as I like Mojo, and I want to see good things happen to this guy while Zach's out. But I was very disappointed in the match tonight.
Any silver lining to it?
I don't think it's going to do him any favors going forward if they're thinking about giving him any type of singles push.
Yeah.
Because I guarantee you that the creative team and the agents in the back saw what I saw.
Yeah.
So
any kind of silver lining, he did get a good reaction from that Phoenix crowd here in the kickoff show. So the crowd was behind him.
To be fair, for the most part, the crowd was really solid tonight.
Yeah, they were.
And it was the first match of the evening. So when you have a good crowd, the first match they pretty much pop for anything, and that was kind of like the story of that tonight. Mm-hmm. Hey, wrestling's starting! Yay, we're excited! That's kind of how I took that.
The first match on the main card, probably the first ever pay-per-view with 3 women's matches in it that I don't know if there's ever been.
I would certainly say so.
Yeah. And all 3 women's matches were great. So good showing for the women there. The show kicked off with Becky Lynch against Mickie James. They got 12 minutes to kick it off. Kind of an interesting way to end things. James didn't get beat with the disarmer rather than just a roll-up kind of counter momentum when she had Lynch in for the pinfall. But, Matt, I thought while you said this may be the weakest of the 3 women's matches, that it was still a very solid and good match, wasn't it?
I thought it was okay. It didn't blow me away. To be perfectly honest, after seeing Asuka and Mickie, I expected more out of this match than I got. Mm-hmm. The match was fine. I mean, it wasn't Mojo and Kurt Hawkins. The match was fine. It was good. It's just I kind of expected more from both of them, and maybe they just didn't click. I mean, I'm not sure. Like I said earlier when I was trying to avoid talking about Mojo and Hawkins, if you would have told me that going into the show that this was going to be the weakest of the 3 women's matches, I wouldn't have believed you, because I had a lot higher of expectations for this match than I guess some other people did, and I just feel like it didn't deliver like I thought it was going to.
Then David Otunga gave us the classic line that Mickie James must have some ring rust because she hasn't been in wrestling in the WWE for 7 years.
And it was super annoying that the fact that even though JBL finally spoke up and said that she's been, wrestling everywhere for the last 7 years and she's not going to have the rust, to me it was really annoying that nobody brought up the fact that she wrestled in NXT a few months ago. Mm-hmm. And if I'm Triple H, I'm a little annoyed by that.
Yeah.
Because to me that's just really simple cross-promotion of your product on the network. Well, hey, if you missed it, Mickie James fought on NXT TakeOver a few months back against Asuka, for the women's championship.
Goes to show you that they probably don't watch NXT.
which is fucking ridiculous. To be perfectly honest with you, it's fucking ridiculous.
If you got a job with the WWE, you should be watching it all.
Yep. Yeah. And then, just. Commentary didn't click during this match either because, maybe even the commentary took a little bit away from this match just because of how bad Otunga was throughout the match.
Yeah. Mickey hit the Mick kick, but Lynch landed too close to the ropes, so there was no pinfall there. James then teased her little DDT finish, but countered with a back body drop. And that's when we had a little bit of a counter and another counter for the pinfall. After 12 minutes, Becky Lynch is your winner of the first match. I thought every time they went to Carmella and James Ellsworth in the Skybox, that was just a waste of time. Do you agree, Matt?
Yeah, I didn't really know what that was supposed to be building to. Although I felt the final one with Ellsworth dropping the mic was funny.
Yeah.
I didn't really understand the point.
Everything else was all pointless.
Of any of those segments tonight, I didn't get it.
No. I thought she was fine in the pre-show, but
one thing I definitely found interesting. If we go back to the Royal Rumble, we said the betting websites that were out for the Royal Rumble, 100% accurate for the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
The Saturday night, the betting sites out of nowhere, I'd say Thursday, Friday, and most of part Saturday, had Mickie James winning this match tonight, and Saturday night shifted out of nowhere that Becky Lynch was gonna beat Mickie, and it was right. If you don't count the double count out match between Nikki and Natalya, the betting websites so far in 2017 for the Royal Rumble in the Elimination Chamber have been 100% accurate so far. So, if you're looking to make some money off your friends who aren't reading stuff, find a reliable WWE betting site like the day of the show, find an unbelievable result, and bet a friend some money, because it seems like whoever these guys are talking to inside the company, they're getting some major spoilers out there. And they haven't been wrong yet. Like I said, besides the double count out, because you can't really bet on the double count out. You have to bet on a winner and a loser. So besides that no contest match, they've been 100% accurate so far in 2017. So definitely something you're going to want to keep your eye on going into Fastlane on March 5th to see what ends up happening with the betting odds for Fastlane. Because it's definitely an interesting time to see WWE kind of letting this kind of stuff get leaked out there. It's they need to put the clamp down on that.
I still can't believe they have betting on WWE, considering, it's determined ahead of time here, kids.
People bet on it, brah.
Handicap match is up next. Dolph Ziggler takes on Apollo Crews and Kalisto, but as Kalisto's coming out, Ziggler javelins Kalisto into the LED board. Then we get ourselves a one-on-one match with Apollo Crews and Dolph Ziggler until Kalisto limped his way down to the ring and then got a hot tag, and all of a sudden he wasn't that hurt anymore. I don't know. I wasn't into this match, Matt. I wasn't into the thought of it being a handicap match. It was odd that the crowd started cheering for Ziggler when he hurt Apollo Crews. They chanted "Thank you, Ziggler."
Yeah,
that was a little interesting.
That's not good. If you're Apollo Crews, that's not good.
No,
it's not a good look on you at all.
Yeah, to me, it was just it was weird. Obviously, I think they're continuing Crews and Ziggler, I guess, but I don't know. I don't even know where they're going with this. I mean, it started out like it was a pretty good story, good angle, but I don't know. It just didn't go anywhere for me on the pay-per-view. What did you think about it?
I liked the beginning. Like I said, I loved Ziggler throwing Kalisto into the screen and the LED screen falling apart. I thought that was great. I thought the match was just there. It was just kind of it's whatever. The match was fine. I expected Ziggler to lose, and he did. Because Ziggler loses at everything. And then, after the match, you just continue the heelish Dolph. But the problem is, where's it all leading to? It's great that he's a bad heel now that doesn't give a damn about anybody. But if he ain't winning matches, how's he getting pushed?
Yeah.
So, I mean, like Dolph Ziggler in WrestleMania right now, I see a gigantic smoke screen. Like, I really don't see what Dolph Ziggler is being built to for WrestleMania. I'll ask around this week. Hopefully have an answer before Lost in the Midcard this Thursday. But right now it's like there's Dolph and there's like a big gigantic, question mark over his head. And I just don't know what the hell they're doing with this guy in terms of their plans for him for WrestleMania right now. It just really seems
right now. He looks like
weird.
He's on the fast. Right now, it seems like he's on the fast lane to the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal,
which I think right now is a lock for Braun Strowman to win if he doesn't end up in a match. Like honestly, I would put Braun in with Roman and Taker. And I do a triple threat match there. That way Taker doesn't have to carry an entire one-on-one match by himself.
Yeah.
But if Braun's not in there, I feel like Braun's going to win the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. And to me, that's kind of really anticlimactic for how big of a push Braun has gotten over the past 6 months. Braun gets this big, strong push, and he wins the Battle Royal at WrestleMania.
Well, yeah, speaking of anticlimactic, you had Baron Corbin eliminating Braun Strowman, and then he lasts like 5 minutes in the Elimination Chamber match.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's weird.
But I guess there was a point to that, because then it set up him and Ambrose for later. Tag Team Turmoil match for the Smackdown Tag Team Championship. 6 teams are in the match. 2 teams start off. When one team gets beat, the next team comes out. We start off the match with Beauty and the Man Beast taking on the Top Guns of Tyler Breeze and Fandango. They look like they were straight off the set of Top Gun 2, the fashion popos there. They took about 4 minutes before Breezango got eliminated, thanks to a Rhino Gore. Next is the Vaudevillains. Yeah, that took 2 minutes. Thanks for coming there, Vaudevillains. Next up is the Usos. They went about 3 minutes before Jimmy made a blind tag and hits the super kick on Slater. Rhino could not get into the ring in time to save him, and so Beauty and the Man Beast, the first ever SmackDown Tag Team Championship champions, are eliminated. So next up, it's American Alpha.
I thought they had a strong shot. I want to touch on Beauty and the Man Beast for a quick minute. I felt like Creative really went out of their way to protect those guys tonight. Mm-hmm. And I thought they like next to, of course, American Alpha, I felt, Slater and Rhino, Beauty and the Man Beast easily had the best showing in the Tag Team Turmoil match tonight. Definitely, lending credence to them, that tandem as a tag team is far from being over, which I think is a good thing because I like that tag team and
yeah, they did
and fuck everybody who doesn't.
They did some teases that Rhino was going to turn on him after they lost the titles, but thankfully those never did play out. So it sounds like the team's here to stay for now, at least. A lot shorter bout between the Usos and Alpha than I had expected. They only went about 5 minutes before Gable got a roll-up. But I think the main story here was the beatdown that the Usos laid on American Alpha, and a pretty good post-match beatdown that led to the Ascension. Connor and Victor maybe getting the favor of the draw for winning the match last week. A lot of people were wondering, well, the Usos beat down American Alpha. Is Ascension going to take advantage? It's the Ascension hit Fall of Man, but Gable made the save, and American Alpha survived. Ascension continued to dominate for a little bit, but Gable made a hot tag and tripped up Connor, threw him outside the ring, got in, and well-timed grand amplitude for American Alpha, and they retain their tag team championships. The match overall went about 21 minutes. And, as they said on Talking Smack, Matt, the American Alpha is the king of the tag team turmoil match, aren't they?
Well, they've wrestled in 2 and they've won 2, so I mean, if that automatically makes you the king, then yeah, I guess you're the king.
The Ascension, though, getting a little push, getting the win on Smackdown, and
to me, I didn't feel like they got a push tonight at all. Because to me, I think it would have looked like more of a push if the Usos wouldn't have destroyed American Alpha before they came out. If the Ascension came out, they had a competitive match and they almost won, and it was really, really close. I feel the Ascension would have gotten more out of it than the Usos left these guys laying.
Yeah,
they were scraps, and you guys came out fresh, and you still couldn't win. So. While I feel like the Usos thing made sense, it didn't really benefit the Ascension tonight. But the Ascension did, get the good rub on SmackDown, so maybe they've got plans for the Ascension. I don't know.
Yeah, and there's a little bit of a crowd wanting them to get pushed and succeed. You see quite a bit of Ascension signs in the crowd lately. Royal Rumble.
It was just that was one creative hiccup that SmackDown did tonight that I didn't agree with. I felt like if you were trying to if their intention was to get the Ascension over tonight, I don't think they did that. I don't think they went about it the right way. If the intention was not to get the Ascension over and they were just focused on the Usos, then they did their job correctly. It really all comes down to what they wanted to do with those tag teams tonight.
I think the announcers got the Ascension over a little more than Creative did tonight. They actually mentioned NXT. They mentioned how dominant of a tag team they were in NXT. Funny how they mentioned that and didn't mention Mickey taking on Asuka in NXT. But I think the Ascension are on the rise. No pun intended. But and I've been a fan of them for ever since NXT. I was hoping there would be some big plans for them. Unfortunately, God, has it been 2 years already? It's already been 2 years since they debuted, haven't they? They didn't debut last Raw. Yeah, it's been 2 years. They debuted start of 2015. So
yeah, it's been a while.
Finally, it took it a while, but finally they're getting some momentum. So we'll see where that leads to. Next up, our second of 3 women's matches on the card: Nikki Bella, Natalya. It's been a great build to the feud, and Matt, apparently they want to keep the feud going, don't they?
It certainly seems that way. Which I mean, I guess since you have 2 months till Mania, you could still do it and still bridge on to what the original plan was. But I kind of thought this was it tonight. Like, I thought going in, I'm like, this is going to be the end of this. And clearly it's not finished.
Do you think somehow that Maurice doesn't wrestle and it's The Miz and Natalya against John and Nikki?
Oh, that would suck. Oh, God, I hope they don't do that.
With this double count out, that popped in my head.
I hope they don't do that. They've got 2 months till Mania, dude. And a half. A month and 3 weeks, however you want to call it. They've got plenty of time to wrap up Natty and Nikki beforehand. I'd rather see... Miz and Natty doesn't make any sense.
No.
Miz and Maurice against Nikki and John. The relationships.
Yeah.
To me, that works. And to be probably Nikki's last match for the foreseeable future... It's a great way for her to go out.
It's just weird that we haven't seen Maurice in the ring the nearly a year that she's been in back in the WWE.
Well, they started dropping the hints tonight. It was a very smooth move. If you weren't looking for it, you didn't catch it. But they started dropping the pellets of hints tonight for that match at WrestleMania. So I mean, it's clear that that's the way they're going.
Nikki showing her boyfriend John how to put on an STF, and Mauro called it the
dude, her
fearless
STF
lock.
is so much better than John's.
Much better. I'm wondering if they're getting away from the rack attack. Maybe, I don't know. They teased it, but maybe
she doesn't do the rack anymore because of her neck.
Well,
she was going for
they call it the Rack Attack 2.0 now.
Oh yeah, you're talking like the TKO.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm wondering if they're even getting.
Yeah, I don't know why they call it the Rack Attack 2.0. It's so stupid. It's a different move. Don't.
They just want to talk about her. They just want to talk about her tits. I mean, come on. But they rolled to the outside and had a little fracas out there. Nikki realized the ref was getting near the count of 10. She goes to the ring at 9, but Natty grabbed her and prevented her from getting into the ring, so that caused a double count out, and this will continue. But hey, I mean, it's been a great feud. We have 7 weeks till WrestleMania on the SmackDown side, so why not give it a couple extra weeks and maybe lead into a no disqualification match, maybe even a steel cage match, something like that. I think that would be kind of cool because this has been a truly a good feud. And I mean, how many times? I mean, when can you remember the last time Natalya has been in a good feud? Like storyline wise,
is that a trick question?
I could not think of anything off the top of my head that has had a good storytelling feud that Natalya's ever been in. You know. Oh, can you think of anything?
Man, not off the top. Like if I had time to think about it, I could probably think of something. But off the top of my head, maybe Pin Up Strong with Beth Phoenix when they were running roughshod over the roster, the two of them.
Yeah.
But that's probably the best I could think of right now.
Bray Wyatt, Randy Orton are on the screen. Wyatt says, "Welcome to the era of Wyatt." Randy says, "Run," as we will lead into Randy Orton versus Luke Harper. But before we do that, let's jump into our 5 count this week. As you may know from listening to the show, Mick Foley will be stepping down as Raw GM fairly soon to get hip surgery done, so he can get himself feeling a hell of a lot better. So that means we will probably need a new Raw GM, and Matt and I have put together a list of our top 5 GM replacements for Mick Foley. Matt, who do you have at number 5?
You know, this might upset you, but the answer is no one. I'm totally
number 5.
Yes, that's my number 5. I'm totally okay at this point if we drop the era of the commissioner and the general manager and just let the wrestlers go out and do their thing. You don't need these authority figures on the show each and every week, hogging the spotlight and taking over things for the roster. Things can be done without these authority figures. Wrestling worked just fine before all this authority figure gimmick garbage over the last 2 decades or so. You know, in the 80s, you know, if something really big needed to happen, you went to Jack Tunney. You know, he sat at the desk, he made the call, that was final, that was it, and you moved on. You know, you didn't really have to freaking go with a new, you know, general manager or commissioner or whatever. I'm kind of just burnt out on the gimmick. And if I had my choice, absolutely, it would be no one. And I wanted to put that at number 1, but I felt you'd be mad at me. So I wanted to start that off at number 5, and I did roll selections for 4 through 1, but honest to God, if I had a choice, it would be no one. That you would just kill it off. Well, I would be totally okay for the era of the general manager and the commissioner to go away.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting concept to not replace, but you know what that leads to then? It's just going to be the authority again, and we don't want that, do we?
I really don't.
My number 5 is Shawn Michaels. I think he's entertaining. I think it would be interesting dynamics with him and Triple H's wife. I think it would be. I think he would be on the same kind of mindset, maybe same kind of personality as a Mick Foley, and maybe clash with Steph every once in a while. I think Shawn Michaels would make a good number 5. Who do you got number 4, Matt?
Number 4, I have the headliner into the WWE Hall of Fame this year, Kurt Angle.
Yes, sir.
If you don't want him to work a match, and you have him working with the company again, why the hell don't you use Kurt Angle on your TV? Because I think it'd be pretty cool that Bryan's running SmackDown and Kurt Angle's running Raw. Because don't tell me that doesn't start the talk of Kurt Angle, Daniel Bryan dream match, somewhere potentially down the line in a great fantasy scenario that we are probably never going to get. Mm-hmm. But I think that would be really cool. I think Angle has shown that he can be serious and funny, and I think he could fit into that role very well. And Angle has had a great history of working with Stephanie when he was there previously, and I think the two of them always played off each other very well, and I think that would be no different this go around.
My number 4 is if you want to really annoy Stephanie McMahon, you hire 2 people to be your Raw GM replacement, Edge and Christian. We know they work together just fine. We know that they know the business very well. I think it would be very entertaining, and they would drive Stephanie nuts. It would be great. And when one can't be there, you still have the other. So these guys are great personalities. I think Edge and Christian as the Raw GM would be an interesting twist on who runs Monday Night Raw. Matt, who do you got for number 3?
I have who you had earlier. I have Shawn Michaels.
No, I didn't. I was surprised. I didn't think we'd have that one.
Yeah, I loved it. I loved him as the commissioner back in the day.
Yeah.
I feel Shawn as somebody that they're paying right now and they're not really using. I know he's doing stuff at the Performance Center or whatnot, but you bring him in every Monday night to run that role. I think that would be pretty cool.
Number 3 is kind of a shot in the dark, no pun intended. But I would have The Undertaker replace Mick Foley.
What? You're on crack.
Nah, I'm not on crack. Undertaker.
That's awful.
That could actually be pretty damn good. I think Undertaker would, the guy's not going to be wrestling too much longer. He's not going to be wearing a suit and tie. He's not going to be director of operations Undertaker. No, he's going to be more of, it's going to, because ever since he's come back, it's been a mix of the badass Undertaker and the dead man Undertaker. It's not been full dead man, and
dude, it ruins his aura. This is a guy who doesn't even attend the Hall of Fame. He doesn't even sit in the crowd and do the Hall of Fame, and you expect him to, sit in the general manager or commissioner's office every week or go out and make a tag match playa. I cannot see the Undertaker in that role. And if I honest to God, I think if Vince McMahon called him tomorrow and asked him to be the general manager of Raw, Undertaker would hang up on him.
Who do you got for number 2?
I have the guy who I wish was on our TV more often, and I think it would bring a great dynamic to keep him around all the time. Paul Heyman. I think Paul Heyman as general manager would be fantastic. There'll be a great dynamic when he brings Brock in to handle somebody who stepped out of line that he can't handle and deal with. So I'm going to bring in the Beast to take care of you. He could use Brock Lesnar as leverage for everything that he does. You fuck with me, you don't do what I say, I'm going to bring in Brock, to freaking take care of you. I just killer. I think he could just dominate as a great general manager. He's somebody when they hold the microphone, I like hearing them talk. And there's very few non-wrestlers that I can say that about nowadays. So I think Heyman would be a great general manager, and I think the playoff between him, and Stephanie on a weekly basis would be money.
Yeah, I didn't even think of Heyman. That's definitely a good one because more Heyman on my TV is always a good thing.
I wonder if we both have the same number one.
We probably do. My number two is Kurt Angle. Basically everything Matt said.
Yes.
Oh, yes. Kurt Angle, awesome. He's been an authority figure in TNA before. He's entertaining. He's also a guy you don't fuck with. So I think Kurt Angle would be a very great Raw GM replacement for Mick Foley. And Matt, who do you got for number one?
I have the man who did a great job in this role in TNA. And I would love to see him get the shot to do it in WWE, and that would be the Icon Sting. I feel he's another guy that they have under contract right now that, while he can't wrestle anymore, I think they're underutilized what they can do with him. And, he doesn't even have to wear the paint. He can wear like he did in TNA, he can wear the shades and in the suit and do the thing. I thought he was an awesome commissioner, general manager, whatever the hell they were calling him in TNA at the time. I think he could do really well with WWE, and his character wouldn't be the gullible idiot that Mick Foley's playing right now, who's just, oh, I know the good in Stephanie, and she means well. Like, Sting wouldn't fall for that shit. Sting was gullible in his career, but as an authority figure dealing with somebody like Stephanie, he wouldn't fall for that. I feel Sting would be an excellent choice to run something like that. I feel like they're not getting the most out of having Sting with the company, and I feel that would help out a lot. And now that I think about it, there's somebody else I should have had on this list that I completely forgot about, and it might be your number one if your number one isn't Sting.
My number one is Sting.
Okay.
So I think Sting. We got a taste of him in the WWE, and then unfortunately it was taken away. I think this is a good way to bring him back and have him be able to be on the product for the foreseeable future. A great way to be able to use him. And, hopefully maybe his health improves. Maybe it leads to one final match. If not, then that's fine. I think he would make a great presence on TV. And, like you said, I would have completely forgot about Paul Heyman, but I think Paul Heyman would be a great one. Who did you just think of?
Hulk Hogan.
Brother.
Don't tell me that wouldn't work.
Yeah, he's done the job before.
Even with shitty WWE, even with shitty TNA creative, they proved, Hogan proved he could do that role. And I think with the WWE creative team behind them, instead of TNA, I mean, let's get real. WWE creative isn't the best at times, especially, but I think they would do a hell of a lot better with Hogan than TNA did. And I feel Hogan brings an unparalleled star power to the show every week that, just some other people couldn't bring. And I think some people, like some old fans, would legitimately tune in every week because Hulk Hogan's the commissioner or the general manager of Raw every week. And they would tune in to see Hogan and see what Hogan was going to do. So if I'm not allowed to have no one at number 5, Hulk Hogan would definitely fall into my top 5 choices for a general manager. But I'd still be happy with no one.
Hulk Hogan is gradually getting sprinkled into the WWE programming once again. So it wouldn't be a surprise maybe if he is the leader in the clubhouse.
I think that'd be cool as hell.
To actually be the one. I don't know. I mean, I don't know where else everybody sits. I think Angle can obviously do the job and want to do the job. I think Sting. I don't know about Sting. I don't know if he'd want to be week to week doing that, but he'd be good at it. I don't know if he'd want to do it now, where I think Angle would. Hogan definitely would. Shawn Michaels is, you never know. He might be one that could too. I really like the Edge and Christian kind of interesting thing, but we do know that a guy like Paul Heyman can be involved in the WWE from a week-to-week basis, so I would really love to see Heyman in it too. So there's a lot of good choices there, and Well, we'll know pretty soon on how that happens.
Yeah, I think Foley's time is as the general manager of Raw is ticking down at this point. I think he's going to want to have that surgery sooner rather than later. And I wouldn't even be surprised. I would not be surprised if he doesn't make it to Mania, in this role, or they phase him out right after WrestleMania, and they do a new era or whatever. None of that would surprise me. In what they're going to do. So it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Every once in a while on a pay-per-view, a match comes out of the blue to surprise the holy fuck out of you with a great showing. And that's what Luke Harper and Randy Orton did. These guys had a 15-minute match that was absolutely phenomenal. Match of the night, for sure. Granted, the Chamber was awesome, but if I got to put a gimmick match like the Chamber up against what Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt did, or Randy Orton and Luke Harper did, I'm going to go with Luke Harper right now, and Orton here in the match that they had. I just thought it was just amazingly well paced, great back and forth. The ending was great as well. Matt, did you agree with those assessments?
I don't know if I'd say it was better than the Chamber, because damn it, I really enjoyed the Chamber.
Yeah, they were both really good.
But they were both really good matches. They were like 1A, 1B. Really, I don't even want to choose, because I really enjoyed both. Mm-hmm. And I think anybody who wasn't paying attention to Harper and Orton tonight, because they know Orton's going to win, no reason to care or watch this. I think you really did yourself a disservice, because I feel like this was Luke Harper's WWE coming out party tonight. Anybody that's seen him work on the independents know what he can do. When he was called Brody Lee, this was his time to show the WWE universe what he could do. And I really hope that this is the beginning of something special for Luke Harper going forward. I really hope they don't under this and just bury him out. I really hope this is the beginning of bigger and better things for Luke Harper going forward.
Yeah, it was a phenomenal showing. I think it might have been the first time we got a "This is awesome" chant from the crowd. Even though it was a good crowd, I think it was a smart crowd and realized when they say it, it meant something. They just don't say it to say it. Like a lot of crowds do, and so it was well done by the fans to recognize how great this match was. In the end, Harper went for the discus clothesline, but Orton shoved him into an RKO, and 15-minute great match between those guys. It'll be interesting to see what happens with Luke Harper going forward. If he probably will be in the middle of this WrestleMania main event, possibly between Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt. It's hard to tell. I don't think that's done yet. I think Luke Harper is going to be mixed in with those two guys. Next up, Nikki Bella is interviewed by Renee Young, and then Natalya attacks her from behind. And then over by the makeup table, and Maurice got powdered all over her black dress. Oh, what a surprise. She was wearing a black dress when she got powdered, right?
I don't know, pal.
I don't know if that was planned or not, pal. But that obviously plants the seeds for the rumored tag match at WrestleMania for damn sure. Next up is the Smackdown Women's Championship between Naomi and Alexa Bliss. This one went a little shorter than I thought. I think it might have gotten some time cut off because the Chamber match we knew was going to be long, and it actually went past 10 o'clock. I'm kind of wondering, Matt, I'm wondering, I kind of felt maybe they cut a couple minutes off this match. Did it feel like that to you?
Maybe it was like a rush job at the end. But I didn't really think about it until you just said it, but you might be right. You might be totally right on that.
It was the shortest of the three women's matches with 9 minutes. Nikki and Talia got 13, and Mickey and Becky got 12. But still, a good match between these ladies. I think it just it was a little bit rushed at the end. I think it was more about the moment rather than the match itself. The moment that Naomi finally has become a women's champion within the WWE. And Matt, it's been long overdue for her, hasn't it?
Oh, I absolutely agree. She deserves it. She's worked her ass off. She's come through injuries. She's come through a lot of stuff. A lot of gimmick changes, trying to figure out what's going to click for her and, work. And I was so happy for her tonight. I really wish her move would have hit solidly at the end. Mm-hmm. She didn't connect on the split-legged moonsault like she should have. But I mean, that happens, and especially if you were told, like when you said that earlier, when you said that earlier about the time being cut, it immediately made me think, what if the refs told them, like, hey, we got to go home now, and they panicked and rushed the finish, and that could be why the move didn't connect. So that wouldn't surprise me at all. Now that you mention it, it honestly makes a lot of sense.
And like when Alexa went for the Twisted Bliss, it was weird. It was like the announcers were caught off guard too, because I don't think Marvel even called out the Twisted Bliss move. And then right away it was a split-legged moonsault for the win. So I think the announcers were kind of caught off guard too. So I think it did get some time cut off from it. Hopefully I would assume the Smackdown rematch will be the main event of the evening, so they will get a good 12 to 15 minutes and show what they can do. But congratulations to Naomi, long overdue. It was a lot of fun. After the match, Naomi was interviewed by Renee Young, and the crowd started chanting, "You deserve it," which made Naomi cry. Great moment overall. And so it was good to see Naomi, and hopefully, she is still champion once they head to Orlando, because I cannot wait to see Naomi's entrance on the WrestleMania stage. That'll be badass for sure.
Yeah, I really hope they didn't give it to her to not let her walk into Mania with the title. I think that would really suck.
Yeah.
So,
what do you think? Well, I guess we'll see what we think a little later here when we do where we go from now. Elimination Chamber time. Basically, that chamber takes up the whole goddamn ringside area, doesn't it? There wasn't much room for anything else. The chamber, new and improved. I'd say improved because it probably doesn't hurt as much landing on the outside.
Which is very good for the talent involved.
Every time I see that RKO that he drops on Randy Orton, drops on Cena on that steel, man, it's something. Some lights on the chamber, pretty cool. The opening in the chamber showed the logo, so the logo is like firmly right in the center of the ring when they show the overhead view. I think that's pretty cool. The lights when they announce, when they're going through all the wrestlers on who's coming in the match next, that looked pretty cool. The entrances, they pull out they slide out the door. That's kind of an interesting little thing. Overall, I thought the chamber itself looked cool. They had cameras placed inside the pods, which were pretty damn good quality. They weren't shitty. They showed some brief shots of the wrestlers waiting inside the pods. Overall, I liked the improvements they made to the chamber. Matt, do you agree?
Yeah, no, I love the new chamber a lot. I honestly can't say enough good things about it. Like I said, I was told some details earlier this week about it, but I didn't really understand. It made a whole lot more sense once I saw it in action, so to speak. And it was really, really well designed. I love the new stuff that they can do in it. I love the new camera shots and angles. I love the way the pods look. I love the padding for the guys. I loved everything about it. I love the new Elimination Chamber. And I'm so looking forward to this match coming back next year. I know it's only the Elimination Chamber only happens once a year, blah, blah, blah. I very much look forward to this match returning next year, and hopefully, they do like a tag team chamber in there with the regular chamber. Get the most out of that awesome structure you just built. You're gonna use it once a year. Give me more than one match. It's just
get the women in there, man.
Oh my god, dude! Yeah, that would be fucking awesome. Yeah, I hope they do. I hope they do something like that. And a big ha 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 to 2K Sports, because I'm challenging you motherfuckers right now, because I damn well know that this new Elimination Chamber will not make WWE 2K18. And if you want to prove me wrong, prove me wrong. Give me a brand new Elimination Chamber in WWE 2K18. I'm laying down the challenge gauntlet right now, 2K, and I'm telling you, you guys can't do it. Prove me wrong.
Dean Ambrose is the first one out, followed by Baron Corbin, Bray Wyatt, and then The Miz. Those are your 4 guys that'll be in the pods. And, hey, we got to start out with John Cena and AJ Styles. That's not a bad thing either. I was hoping to myself that the third man in was Dean Ambrose, because I would love to see this triple threat go on again, and I got my wish. Dean Ambrose was the next guy in. Once we hit the 5-minute mark, of course, every 5 minutes, somebody gets entered into the chamber. I figured Bray Wyatt was going to be held off at 6, but no, they put him in there at number 4. Number 5 was Baron Corbin. And so we're 5 guys deep, and nobody's been eliminated yet. But as Baron Corbin was getting ready to stare down The Miz and welcome him into the chamber, which Miz was kind of scared to get out of the pod, Ambrose rolled up Corbin, and Corbin loses to a roll-up, which, the dude knocks out Braun Strowman of the Royal Rumble, and this is how you treat Baron Corbin in his first main event.
I thought they protected the hell out of him, to be perfectly honest.
I thought it was kind of dumb.
I felt it was a fluke roll up.
Yeah.
I felt he was distracted. He wasn't pinned clean. He wasn't a clean pin. He rolled him up while he was distracted. I thought it was a brilliant way to protect Baron Corbin, and the beatdown that he gave Dean Ambrose afterwards. If you had any issue with the pin at that point, you should have forgotten about the pin, because Corbin left that chamber looking like an absolute badass.
He did.
And you really shouldn't have to worry about it after that.
The IWC went nuts when he gave John Cena the end of days.
I was hoping he was going to pin him, and it didn't happen. That's what I was hoping for.
I think that's the first time that he's ever landed end of days on Cena. Because I popped for it. I thought that was pretty badass. But yes, after Corbin gets eliminated by Dean Ambrose, he beats the shit out of Dean Ambrose, throws him through the Lexan pod, because of course, what Elimination Chamber is there without someone going through the glass. Then he landed the end of days on Ambrose as well. And of course, Miz then scurries over and pins Dean Ambrose. So now, all of a sudden, we are down to 4. Miz obviously doing his best to mock Daniel Bryan with the kicks and all that. He's on a little bit of a roll there, mainly because he's the freshest guy in the match. But then he ran into an attitude adjustment, and that was it for the Miz. He's gone. So now we're down to Wyatt, Styles, and Cena. AJ and Bray make a team for a brief amount of time as they beat up John Cena. John Cena hits the 10-knuckle shuffle and hit an attitude adjustment on Wyatt, but didn't try to go after him. Wyatt, rolled out of the ring. So he tried to give one to AJ as well to try to get the upper hand and knock one of the guys out, but AJ countered it into the Styles Clash for a near fall. Crowd going wild for that. That was great. Styles went for the phenomenal forearm, but Cena avoided it into the attitude adjustment, a 2 count. That was a great near fall, because I thought that was the end for AJ Styles. So him kicking out of that was amazing. Cena, you don't see him high risk too often, but he climbs to the top of one of the pods and does a double cross body block onto the 2 guys down below. I thought that was awesome, because you don't see Cena do that too often. Went for the AA on Wyatt, but Wyatt slips out, hits Sister Abigail, and pins John Cena. How about that moment, Matt, when Bray Wyatt pinning John Cena? You ever think you'd see that day?
You want to flash back to WrestleMania? No. Because I truly believe that Cena is the reason Bray is not well, I can't say Bray is not currently where he's at because he's where he needs to be now. But I feel like he could have been there in half the time had Cena not, flat out ruined him at WrestleMania 30. So this is a culmination of many years of Bray shifting through all the shit and dealing with all the injuries and just getting things done. And I couldn't be happier for Bray. And I know we're not fully done with the match yet. I just want to touch on how incredibly happy I am with the way AJ Styles was booked in the Chamber tonight. Not only being one of the first two men to enter, but the last two remaining. And definitely gave him a couple shots that looked like he was going to win.
Well,
they made Styles look really strong tonight, and I very much appreciated that because if he's not going to have a decent program going into WrestleMania, I keep hearing he's fighting Shane McMahon. I hate that so much, and I really hope we get anything other than that. I just want to keep the guy strong, dude, and I really want to see him and Bray in a feud or him and Orton in a feud after WrestleMania. Whoever the champion is. Like, I totally feel AJ should be looking for his one-on-one rematch title shot following WrestleMania. So
I haven't got one yet. I thought I hit Matt with a couple of tweets when it was down to the final two, and he go, I could see Styles winning this.
And I'm just like, nope. I didn't even reply to you. I just saw the tweet. I shook my head and said, nope.
I could see it.
I couldn't say it. I knew Bray was going to win. Like the odds,
Orton Styles.
The odds on the betting site doubled in Bray's favor this afternoon. He went from a -3,000 to a -7,500. And I'm just like, yeah, there's no way in fuck that he's losing this match. So, I knew he was winning because if he would have lost and Styles would have won, anybody who bet on Styles would have made so much money off those betting sites this weekend, it would have been insane. So...
that's why I don't like looking at those betting websites because I don't really want to know what's going on.
I have to be on the inside on every, wrestling publication. And you don't get to see it until Friday. They don't put the betting up, the site that I go to anyway. They don't put the betting up until Friday, and then you watch it fluctuate over the weekend. Legitimately, when the betting went live on Friday, the only things that were different that flipped throughout the weekend, Alexa Bliss and Mickie James were both scheduled to win their matches, and those both flipped over the weekend to Naomi and Becky Lynch. Naomi flipped first, and then Becky Lynch flipped the following day. They were both originally the other way were scheduled to win. So if you would have seen that on Friday and you would have saw that Alexa was favored, and you would have put money down on Naomi to win, you were taking my word for it as a diehard fan of Lost in the Midcard, you would have won a lot of money. Even though she was end up being favored by the time the show went off the air, you placed the bet when she was an underdog. So you get that money if she wins. So it's always good to look at that right at the beginning. And if your gut tells you something different to what they're betting on, throw some damn money down, man. See if you can win a buck or two. Just throwing that out there into the atmosphere. You want to bet on wrestling? More power to you. So, hey. At this point, WWE might be realer than the damn Super Bowl, because I still think that motherfucker was rigged.
Yeah, I just don't want to know what's going to happen, especially when they're perfect on their picking. So
they're not always perfect.
Yeah.
But I will tell you, in 2017, thus far, they have been 100% perfect.
Yeah, so I don't want to be spoiled. I don't like to be spoiled.
I will tell you the betting site did have Nikki Bella over Natalya going into tonight. Even though it ended up being a double count out, Nikki Bella was the betting odds favorite to win that match tonight. So
So we're down to the final two in the Elimination Chamber. We're at the 30-minute mark when we're down to AJ Styles and Bray Wyatt. Great back and forth between these guys. Wyatt teased Sister Abigail, but Styles gets the roll up for a 2 count. Styles then hits a great knee on Bray Wyatt and a clothesline. Pele kick that just kind of grazed Bray, but then Styles follows it up with a great springboard 450 with a near fall. Styles then goes for the phenomenal forearm, and I said to myself, I hope he flies right into a Sister Abigail, because that would look awesome. And sure enough, he did. And after 35 minutes of a great chamber match, your new WWE World Heavyweight Champion, none other than Bray Wyatt. It's been a long time coming. Like I said, I got to have a little conversation with him in September, and I said that I believed that his time is going to come eventually, and sure enough, it did. It did just 5 short months after that. I can't be any more happier that Bray Wyatt is now a world champion in professional wrestling. I'm extremely excited. As he poses, the lights go out for the Fireflies at the end of the show, and then there's Randy Orton staring at Bray Wyatt, which leads you to believe what is going to happen on Tuesday. It sure is going to be interesting. But Matt, tell us your thoughts of the new WWE World Heavyweight Champion, Bray Wyatt.
I really don't know if there's anything else to be said that hasn't already been said. He's definitely proud of Bray, and happy that he finally got the big win that he deserved, in my opinion, many years ago. But, there's the old saying of it's better late than never. And Taz actually had a really great saying tonight. Somebody commented to Taz about how the title win was 2 years too late. To which Taz replied, "My friend, it's never too late. When you get the opportunity to be a world champion, he earned it." And I absolutely agree with Taz. That's a great way to look at it. And I really hope they let him beat Randy Orton at WrestleMania, because I feel it will solidify a brand new main eventer for years to come. If they let Bray get the win over Orton. They already let him beat Styles and Cena tonight. If they let him beat Orton at WrestleMania, I feel like they've created something magical for Bray going forward in the future.
You flat out said that wasn't going to happen. I said from the moment that Randy Orton will run the Royal Rumble, if Bray Wyatt is going to be champion at Elimination Chamber, I truly have felt all along that he will win at WrestleMania. And it could be interesting. He could become the face, and Orton can become the heel, because we all know Orton's a great heel. We all know the WWE Universe loves both Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt. So it'll be interesting. We knew it was happening, but at the same time, I don't know about you, man. I'm not going to speak for you right now, but we all knew this was happening, and I'm excited for the next 7 weeks. I'm excited for Tuesday to see what is going to happen, because we don't know exactly how it's all going to play out.
I don't know if I'll go as far as saying that I'm excited, but I'm most certainly curious to see where they're going. I definitely feel it was well deserved. I'm excited for Bray. I'm not sure I'm excited for the direction of WrestleMania, but we'll see. We'll see where everything's going to go. I'm kind of hoping for the best. I don't want this to be the Vince McMahon revenge tour, but I just can't help but feel like it's going to be. So
thanks to everybody that voted on our poll here on Twitter at LITMC Podcast. Not overwhelmingly, but mostly positive on the poll. The rating of a B got the most votes at 48%. A got 23%. So a good, healthy 71% of the vote gave it an A or B.
Which is very cool.
23% gave it a C. 6% gave it a D or F. So where do we go from here? Now that we are still 7 weeks away from the road to WrestleMania, there's still a lot of pieces that can change. We are not sure what's going to happen. First off, where do you see the women's championship going? Do you see a four-way with Naomi, Lynch, and Mickie James? Do you see Becky Lynch in a face versus face? Does Alexa Bliss wait until WrestleMania? What do you see of the women's division going forward here?
Honestly, this is kind of a great thing about the SmackDown women's division. They have so many options. You can pretty much, I think you can eliminate Nikki Bella out of the equation. I don't think they should do the Fatal 4-Way because, I mean, Raw's already doing the Fatal 4-Way.
Oh, we don't know that yet, but
dude, they're doing the Fatal 4-Way. It's about as locked in stone as everything else that's going on right now.
And who put that on their WrestleMania card? This guy. We're pretty damn good, aren't we?
Yeah, well, it's not like this isn't our first rodeo, my friend.
I had Usos and Alpha. I had the 4-Way for the women. You had Baron and Dean. Yeah. We got a good track record. See, are you leaning that Alexa holds off? Do you think what she said on Talking Smack, using those excuses, then she kind of has all these excuses all the way up until she has to do it at WrestleMania, kind of thing? You see that how that plays out, maybe, or what do you think?
The easiest way to do it is to throw it into a 4-Way.
Mm-hmm.
But my thing is, like, do you really want to do that when Raw's doing the same thing? Like, you could do Mickey, Becky, Alexa, and Naomi in a 4-Way, but do you really want to do that when Raw's doing a 4-Way as well? And I guess maybe the girls would say, yeah, we want to do it because we want to try to outshine Raw's thing, but I just feel like it's
No, what I was saying was Alexa's just full of excuses getting out of those matches all until WrestleMania. Like, it's just those two.
I can't. You really see nothing for Becky Lynch at WrestleMania? I have a hard time. I have a hard time buying that. I really do. Like, I don't know. Like, the SmackDown women's division is a lot more up in the air of what they're going to do than the Raw's division, which is so blatant right now that it hurts. So, I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing what happens with the women between now and WrestleMania, because I really don't know what they're going to do.
The Intercontinental picture is I think, pretty much solidified. But at the same time, it doesn't mean it's going to be WrestleMania, because there's still a lot of SmackDown to do until then. So a Corbin could beat Ambrose, and then we get a Ty Dillinger Baron Corbin match at WrestleMania, maybe, or something, because there was a rumor that Dillinger was going to be on SmackDown and immediately put in the Intercontinental title picture. That could still happen too. It's weird because there's so much time between now and Mania. A lot of shit can happen.
Well, you ain't lying.
What? It doesn't seem like the Ziggler, Cruz, and Kalisto thing's going away anytime soon. What would you want out of Dolph Ziggler at this point, though?
Dude, I'm super confused. Like I said earlier tonight, I'm super confused about what they're going to be doing with Ziggler. Like, I really don't know. I have no clue what they're doing with Dolph right now. Like I said, I'll try to have an answer by the time we're back on the air on Thursday. But right now I'm clueless. I have no clue what they're doing.
A tag team, you pretty much agree that it's going to be Alpha and Usos?
That's certainly what it seems like to me, because I still think the Revival's sticking down in NXT for a while.
Mm-hmm. Do you see Luke Harper staying in between this feud all the way to WrestleMania?
I wouldn't mind seeing a triple threat, to be perfectly honest with you.
Wow.
Like, wow. I don't think they'll do it.
Harper earned it tonight, though.
But I think that would be really cool.
I think so too, and that would be a great nod to Harper to be in there. Not, great nod to all three guys, because I mean, Orton has always been, and I'm not down on granted, I don't want Orton to beat Wyatt, but I'm not as down on Orton winning the title at WrestleMania because he's a guy that the crowd, the universe, the general public still likes no matter what. He's not been a guy that people have gotten sick of. So in this new way of doing things, going through the Wyatts to get to where he wants to go is a new, fresh way. You know, and obviously I'm a big fan of Bray, but I think it'd be an interesting moment if Orton won at WrestleMania, but I hope to God it doesn't happen. I hope I hope these guys end the night. But you know who's gonna end the night?
Right, I'm not looking forward to that closing the show. I'm really, really not.
I hope to God that doesn't end the night and the actual championship is not the Universal title, the actual championship closes WrestleMania, but we'll see. Well,
the man who won the Royal.
What's that?
Well, the man who won the Royal Rumble, the show, but because they should be doesn't mean they actually do.
And
so
for once, they're booking the winner of the Royal Rumble a lot stronger than they have in the past. You know, the Miz we know is we probably know the direction the Miz is going. AJ Styles is the biggest question mark, and I hope to God, Shinsuke Nakamura comes up. And those two.
I would be totally good with that.
That's going to do it for Lost in the Midcard, our Elimination Chamber post-show special. Thank you for tuning in. As always, thank you to SpiderDuck.net for being our host and enabling us to be on iTunes and any of your favorite podcasting apps. Make sure that you do that search for Lost in the Midcard. Hit that subscribe button. Tell your friends about it as well. That way you know every time a new episode comes your way, every Thursday and most Mondays after WWE pay-per-views. You can also subscribe to us on YouTube if that's your flavor of choice. And the links to all that are on our Facebook page. Go to the notes section of facebook.com/Lost in the Midcard. Also, check out our Twitter. We got a lot to share on there as well, at LITMC Podcast. Matt is on the Twitter at Raw F Showtime. I am on the Twitter at JB Huskers. And before we ride off into that sunset, Matt, what are your final thoughts after Elimination Chamber?
Try not to suck tonight, Raw.
Meh. Well said. And before we go, Matt, what do you think Broken Matt's premonition was?
I don't know. I just felt it was great. I felt it was a great thing to tweet tonight because everybody was like, "Oh, Rebby's playing the piano," and I wanted to rile people up into thinking that maybe after the Ascension came out that, yes, that the Hardys were going to come out and challenge American Alpha. Like, I knew it wasn't going to happen, but I just, like, I felt Matt Hardy was trolling the internet, and I wanted to get in on it. So,
somebody asked
that's kind of why I threw that retweet out into the atmosphere.
Somebody asked me, is that piano playing in the stuff mean that is that a foreshadowing to the Hardys? I go, no. I just said, no. For Matt Black, this is Jeremy Bennett. Thanks for tuning in to Lost in the Midcard, and we will catch you this Thursday.